What's going on, guys? Just figured I'd jump on here for a little bit tonight. I'm actually going to be live tomorrow for Bellator 288 as well. But I figured before I went to bed tonight, jump on here for a little while. We can talk about. I've been meaning to make a video about the Yair Rodriguez Josh Emmett interim title fight. We can talk about that. UFC 282 is right around the corner. Jiri Prochazka, Glover Teixeira 2. So we can talk about that as well. We can talk about some more aftermath of UFC 281, Israel Adesanya, Alex Pereira, Dustin Poirier, Michael Chandler. And we also, not that I don't feel like that many people really want to talk about this, but we can talk more in depth about Sergey Spivak versus Derek Lewis. I don't think people are too interested in that. But we got Bellator 288 coming up tomorrow. I'm actually really looking forward to, especially the top two fights. I made prediction videos for both of them. And all those other things I already mentioned. It's crazy that it's about to be the end of the year already. The end of the year is almost here, guys. That is absolute insanity. One thing I want to check is, this Saturday, the fights come on at a terrible, terrible, terrible time. 4 p.m. Eastern is this Saturday's fights. Not a great card, not a terrible card. The fight I'm most looking forward to on Saturday's card, I'm not going to lie, could be potentially, it's either Jack Della Maddalena versus Danny Roberts, just to see how Jack Della looks, or I really like the matchup of Andre Fialho versus Muslim Salihov. That's a decent matchup as well. So I'm looking forward to those matchups, but the card isn't all that great. Nothing spectacular. But yeah, we're just going to talk about some random topics. You guys can throw some questions in the chat. We can talk about whatever. I'm just on here for maybe an hour or so, maybe an hour and a half. We'll see. We did a live chat last night. If you guys want to go check that out as well. I think we went about 2 hours for the live chat last night. So you guys can check that out. That's on the channel. Let's go finally call it a stream. What's up, Homework? What's up, MMA Post? Does Usman keep it standing tomorrow? I think he mixes in everything well. What's going on, Joey? What's up, White? What's going on? Joey, do you think Glover loses and then retires is more beneficial for Alex because Glover will dedicate all his time to coaching? I don't know. Maybe. But I also feel like, they're training daily together, so I don't think it'll change all that much. Sergey versus Ty, though. Yes, isn't it Sergey Pavlovich versus Tai Tuivasa happening? What's up, Joey? A reminder, when I told you Alex Pereira would beat Izzy, but anyway, who you got if the rematch happens? A lot of people said Alex will win. I had an early prediction of Alex winning. I changed my prediction to Izzy. But no, I do not remember. Everyone's always telling me, they throw out a bunch of statements here and there. This is something I deal with all the time. Whatever person may throw out 8 million different things, and then the one time they're right, like, hey, I called it. But if you did, that's great. That's great for you. Who do I have if the rematch happens? Honestly, this is going to sound crazy. It's not really going to sound crazy. And I feel the same way about Usman. I'm more confident in Izzy going into a rematch now. I'm almost more confident. But I think it's a tough fight to pick. It's a very tough fight to pick. But just seeing Adesanya win for 85% of the fight, I have to pick Adesanya in a rematch. But all Pereira needs is that one shot. So we'll see. It's tough. Again, 10 more seconds in that first round, and Adesanya won by first round KO. So it's a tough fight to pick. I'm very much looking forward to that rematch, though. I like both guys, too. Honestly, I probably like Alex Pereira a little bit more. But after that fight, I'm a huge fan of both guys. I was kind of, down on Izzy a bit because of his shit recent fights and talking a lot of shit and then not delivering. He's kind of rejuvenated me as a fan with his most recent fight. Even though he lost, it doesn't matter. It was a spectacular fight for both guys. Both guys' stock went up in that fight, I believe. Who do you think? Oh my God. Honestly, damn straight, I'm not even going to read it. I don't even think about things like that. Could Bellator lightweight champ beat UFC lightweight champ? They would probably never fight because Nurmagomedov is not fighting Makhachev. But who would I pick in that fight? I'd probably pick Islam. I think Islam would probably win. Do you think Derek Lewis is already done? His chin is not the same? Yes, I do. But he can always find that KO. That's why it's hard. It's been hard for me to pick against him his last few fights, and I picked him. But whenever I pick against Derek Lewis, it seems like he pulls it off, and whenever I pick him, he doesn't. So it is what it is. I'm like, let's take a look real quick, just out of curiosity. I'll tell you who I picked in Derek Lewis's fights. I feel like I'm like 50-50 on Derek Lewis's picks. On picking his fights. I picked him in his last 2 fights. I picked him against Pavlovich. I picked him against Tuivasa. Got both those wrong. I picked him against Dawkins. Got that right. Picked against him against Cyril Gane. Picked against him with Curtis Blades. Got that wrong. Picked against him against Alexei Oleinik. Got that wrong. I think I picked him to beat Yair Latifi. So I'm terrible at picking Derek Lewis's fights, to be honest. By the way, guys, do me a favor. If you haven't already, if you could like the stream, I would greatly appreciate it. We are actually 22 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. 22 subscribers away. So like the stream. Hopefully more people find the channel, then subscribe. And if you're watching right now and you're not subscribed, and I just need my whole desk right now, you're watching, you're not subscribed, go subscribe right this very second. We're 22 subscribers away. So we'll probably hit that tomorrow, honestly. So 6,000 subscribers tomorrow, guys. And my leg is still itching. I try to itch it, and I need my whole desk. But yeah, like the stream. It helps the stream. But yeah, I think Derek Lewis's chin is done. His chin is gone. If he gets clipped, he's going to get put to sleep. And he's never had a great chin either. I mean, he got put to sleep by Matt Mitrione. What's going on, Fries? Tomorrow, Nurmagomedov is fighting, and people are barely talking about it. People are barely talking about it. Freaking Bellator marketing. Yeah, Bellator is terrible with their promotion. But I did a prediction video, so there that is. Mario feels like he got to 6K pretty quick, but I don't know. Yeah, it was pretty quick. It was pretty quick. I think it was like a month and a half. So to get 1,000 subscribers in a month and a half is very good. At least for my channel. It's going to continue to grow and grow and grow, and I'm happy with that. But thank you, Mario, for the $10 super chat. I appreciate you, Mario. Longtime supporter and a member as well. So I really do appreciate the support. Thank you for your donation. 6K, then next thing you know, we're going to be up to 10K. I set a goal for 10K by the end of the year, but I always tell you guys I set these huge goals. But I know regardless, we will be at 10K very soon. Whether it's January, whether it's December, whether it's even February, we will be there soon. And it's all thanks to you guys watching the videos. That's how YouTube decides to recommend them to more people. But we're not even we're only a year and a half into the channel. Started a year and a half ago, roughly a year and a half ago. So I have 6 months for the 2-year anniversary. I will hit 10K in the next 6 months. So to get 10,000 subscribers in under 2 years is amazing. And I appreciate you guys. Joey, I know people, and thank you again, Mario, for the $10 super chat, aka the $10 holla, as Beside You would call it. Joey, I know people love seeing Alex Dethern and Izzy or the fight with Dustin and Chandler, but one of my favorites was seeing Aaron Blanchfield derail Molly. Oh, that was probably my favorite fight on the card. Molly McCann had this weird hype that she did not deserve, that she was riding the coattails of Patty Pimlet. She was beating up literal bums, okay? She was beating up literal bums. And for some reason, she was getting hyped because of it. So I knew Blanchfield would go out there and beat her. I didn't think it would be as decisive in a finish. But I knew she would go out there and beat her and be very dominant. I wonder if that's why my prediction video did so well. I wonder if, I don't know, it did well before the fight, but it's weird, I guess, because people came back and watched it after the fact. But yeah, I thought Blanchfield, I was very confident in Blanchfield going into that fight. But there's a lot of people commenting on that and saying, Molly's going to finish her. Yeah, right. But that was very satisfying. UFC 275 is one of my favorite fight cards. It's always slept on cards, such as 277, 275. 275, one of the best pay-per-views of the year. As far as entertainment value, I agree 150%. Probably the best fight of the year for sure. I was just watching the Derek Lewis breakdown video. Appreciate you, Vince. Thank you. Usman Nurmagomedov versus Paddy Pimblett. Who wins? Usman Nurmagomedov without a shadow of a doubt. I'd bet my life on it. Izzy by decision? I still think, honestly, I think I'm picking Izzy by finish in a rematch. I don't know, though. It's very early. Usman mangles Paddy for sure. Usman could out-grapple him and outstrike him and KO him. He could beat him anywhere it goes. Usman Nurmagomedov, even though he hasn't fought the greatest competition, Paddy's fought equally as bad competition and looked way worse. In my opinion, Izzy won't be back for over a year. Thoughts? I completely... Unless something happens in training, he will be back. My guess is the latest he would come back would be July of next year. Bellator's tomorrow in Chicago. I'm thinking if I should go, or it's around 100. Damn, my nose is itching up. My mustache is... I got to shave my mustache. For $100, I'd go. We had 3 interim lightweight champs between 2017 and 2020. McGregor and Khabib was holding it up. What's your favorite 55 interim title fight? 216, 236, or 249? 236 was Dustin Poirier versus Max Holloway. 249 was Tony Justin Gaethje. What was 216? Who was an interim title holder at 216? That must have been Kevin Lee, Tony Ferguson, I believe. Favorite one was probably Max versus Dustin. What's up, Derek? What's going on? Apex Lewis is undefeated. That is something to take into account. He's not fighting in Texas anymore, so he could probably pull it off. I was surprised Usman is still 24. I thought he's near 30. Yeah, it's crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Again, thank you, Mario, for the super chat. No college tomorrow, just in time for the stream. Hello. Thank you, Air Mamba. Going to be live at 284 in backyard. Great card. Why not? That's awesome. That's awesome. I hope you have a great time. JJ Smoke, what's going on, my friend? Mike, when are you upgrading the studio? What exactly do you mean? Like a background or something like that? I have no idea. I want to get a new computer soon. I'm trying to get a new computer before the end of the year. But I'm just trying to decide. I really want something like top of the line that's going to last me like 10 years. I have a really nice laptop right now that does a really good job. But I want like a really crazy high spec PC. There's so many different options. I'm looking around, but I'm going to get something hopefully before the end of the year. I've spent every dime I made off the channel on the channel so far. Francis is stalling the division, is artificially extending his reign. He should be stripped if he's not fighting in the next 6 months. Dude, he's injured. He's injured. I also see your growth. It's great to see where you came from. It's only up from here. Keep going. Yeah, dude, you've been watching for a while as well. I appreciate you. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. It's pretty cool to see. For me, it's almost addicting at this point. I'm like, oh man, I can't wait to get to, 6K. I can't wait to get to 10K. Imagine seeing 20K, So I can imagine for somebody like you who's been watching for a while and seeing, okay, we're here. We got 15 people in the chat. Oh, now we got 40 people in the chat. Now we got 70 people in the chat. And seeing the subscriber growth as well has to be pretty cool. I appreciate your support. You guys are the reason that it continues to grow. What's up, Torin? Month and a half. That's solid. Yep. What did you do to get here so quick? I don't know. I guess make decent videos, audio quality, video quality. I don't know. I mean, I've been doing my best to cover all the relevant topics, to give you guys real opinions and not just bullshit that maybe just pander to certain fan bases. So I just tell you guys what I honestly think without any fear of backlash, and it's worked for me so far. Joe, your channel is good. Keep it going, friend. Thank you, Benji. I appreciate you. I really do. I really do appreciate that. Aaron Blanchfield is scary. Yes, she's a legitimate future contender in the division. Any idea who the coaches of Tough 2023? I heard maybe Aljo and Matt. Please, God, no. I have no idea, and I hate to answer your question this way. I couldn't give a shit about the Ultimate Fighter coaches. People talk about it far too much. but I have no idea. It's probably going to be some garbage coaches, I would think. UFC 282. Now I lost my spot. It just jumped down in the chat. UFC 282 looks like an average main card, but including the prelims, very well constructed. Yeah, it's not a bad card. I'm going to do top 3 things I hate about UFC 282 and top 3 things I love about UFC 282 very, very soon. So it's going to be out either maybe Sunday, Monday, somewhere around there, Tuesday at the latest, I would say, at least the first one. I tend to do those like 3 weeks out, 2-3 weeks out. So it'll be out next week. Let me put it that way. Joe, would you agree that Islam and Charles was the most important fight of the year? I don't know. I mean, it was a very important fight. It was a historic fight for the division. It was a historic fight for both guys' future legacies. But was it the most important fight of the year? I think, I mean, it's up for debate, but it was a very important fight nonetheless. It was my most anticipated fight of the year. I'll put it that way. Will Patty ever be ranked without some of his favoritism bullshit? Because he could probably lose to everyone in the top 15. It's possible they baby his way into the top 15, but he's never going to be able to hang out there forever. I kind of feel like it's going to be Weidman Silva situation minus the leg break. What are you referring to there? I'm more confident Usman beating Leon rather than Izzy. I don't know, man. I think Alex just got his number. Imagine, though, if Kamaru gets feared again in the UK. Yeah, I'm definitely more confident that Usman beats Leon in a rematch than I am Izzy wins. The Izzy fight, for me, was like a 60-40 Izzy, maybe a little bit higher than that. But I liked what I saw in the fight. I really do. I like what I saw from Izzy. And I know people are continuing to say he's got his number. They fought 3 times in combat sports. 2 of those were 5 years ago. It's a different sport. So we've seen one fight. I can't say that he has his number. We'll revisit that after the second fight. Joey, is it me, or is whenever UFC 280 brought up, I always try to change the subject? Olive's fan. I don't know. No, it's probably just you. I don't feel that way. It is what it is. I mean, I'm just looking for good fights, to be honest. I don't really. I mean, do I love Charles Oliveira? Of course. But at the end of the day, it was still a fun fight. It was still, Islam is a very high-level fighter, and I'm happy to see what he can do in his championship reign now. People saying he's boring are delusional as well. I got my UFC 284 tickets. I saw that in the Discord, man. That is awesome. I hope you have a great time. That is amazing. That is incredible. And I hope you send some pictures in the Discord when you go. Soccer. I hope you have a great time. But that's sweet, man. That's going to be a good card. I mean, the top 3 fights right now are incredible. Islam versus Volkanovski. Yair versus Emmett. Costa versus Whitaker. Incredible card. I would love to be there live. You should have got me a ticket, man. What the hell? From top to bottom, it's crazy. UFC 282, one of the most complete cards of all time. I'll have to study it over very, very soon, but it is a decent card for sure. What kind of plain shirts do you buy? What kind of plain shirts do you buy? What kind of plain shirts do you buy? I'm trying to understand what you mean by that. Like what material they're made out of? Or what brand they are? I don't know. I'm not even sure, to be honest. I'm not even sure. Just plain shirts. Whatever plain shirts I can find. I don't know. You got a recommendation for me? Hey, Joe, are you live streaming Bellator? Yes, I will be live streaming Bellator tomorrow. What's up, Brendan? What it say for these Dagestanis if Usman wins the Bellator championship? I mean, it'll show that in that part of the world, I mean, the grappling and just the overall MMA skills are incredible. Joe, what do you think of Street Beefs? I literally don't watch it. I just barely heard of it. But for me, I'm not interested in it. I'm not interested in low-level fights ever. So it doesn't interest me at all. Who will win Usman fight if Leon KOs him again? Oh, who will Usman fight if Leon KOs him again? Probably going to retire, honestly. I can't imagine him going on to try to work his way back up. Joey, what's going on, man? Big ups for the stream. What's up besides you? Hope you are doing well, my friend. Good to hear from you. Good to hear from you. Happy to have you join the stream, and I'm glad you're happy that we're doing this stream tonight. I love doing these streams. Joey, when was the last year we had this many new champions? Maybe 2016, Alvarez, Stipe, Tate, Nunes, Woodley, Conor, Alvarez, end of the year, etc. Off the top of my head, I don't know. But 3 fifth-round come-from-behind victories in title fights. Straight up insanity. Straight up insanity. My boy Joey kind of having a bad night, tuning in to better my mood. Apparently I'm illiterate now, but I appreciate you. I'm glad I can improve your mood. I'm happy to have you here, and I'm sorry you're having a bad night. I hope we can make it better by discussing some MMA. What's up, Joey? Hope you're doing well. Have a feeling UFC is going to have banger pay-per-views between March and July. Next year is looking like a very, very good year for MMA fans. So I'm really looking forward to it, and I agree with you 100%, Victor, and I hope you're doing well as well. Do you think Jack Della Maddalena can be champ? Way too early to tell. Way too early to tell. You know what you did? I'm not sure what you mean. They might do Jones and Ngannou at UFC 285. I've talked about that multiple times. I think so as well. Good that it's an addiction and the reason you got here is your grind. Yeah, dude, I have a mindset, like if I want to do something, I just have to do it regardless of what it is. And this is one of like my kind of like an obsession, but like a healthy obsession. I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna grow this shit into something substantial. And it's become an addiction. But I love MMA. So, you know, it's fun. It's fun. You know, it's not something I'm like, oh yeah, I'm trying to start a business, this and that. It's something I enjoy doing anyway. And now we're here. Yeah, man, of course, great content leads to more views, subscribers, etc. It's well deserved. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Joey, who do you got in Kai Kara France? Alex Perez just got announced. I'm going Kai Kara France. But Alex Perez is actually underrated as hell. Love the title rematches. Yuri Glover 2, Figgy Moreno 4, Usman Edwards 3, Valentina Santos 2, Izzy Pereira 2. Every fight seems to need a rematch. Seems to have rematch, but 2. Yeah, off the top of my head. Seems like it. All those ones you just named. I'm looking forward to all of them, though. Congrats on the growth, though. I like seeing everyone succeed, unlike some wins in the chat. Yeah, me too. Me too. I wish for everyone's success. You know, that's if you're wishing for anyone's downfall, I mean, what's the point of that? What's the point of that? So I'm wishing for everyone's success, and I appreciate your wish for success as well, and I wish you success. Dustin versus Dariush, who wins? I go Dustin. I don't think Dariush has like the offensive wrestling to just dominate him on the ground. Maybe I'm wrong, and I think Dustin has the better striking. 2023, we have the biggest fights ever in UFC. Islam Volk, Izzy rematch, Hamzat Conor, plus all the ones I'm missing. When you say Hamzat Conor, you mean Hamzat fighting someone and Conor fighting someone? Serious question. Do you think Dustin Poirier has paid the cost to be the boss? I'm not even sure what that means. 2022 was the setup basically for 2023, Joey. That is very true. It was the prequel. Do you think Patty's hype will continue after 282? I think he probably beats Jared Gordon. I got to dig into that one a little bit deeper. I can't remember everyone's fighting skills off the top of my head. But I think Patty wins that one, but it's a slight step up in competition. So I'll say yes, his hype does continue. Great show, as always, Joey. Thank you, Blood Money. I appreciate you very much, man. I've stopped by a couple times in yours and watched a little bit as well. I do appreciate you, man, because you've commented on the channel for quite a while. I don't know how long it's been. And never really like asked for anything or anything crazy like that, but always just been super supportive. And I'd like to try to do that back as well. So thank you, man. I appreciate you stopping by the stream. I wish you success, man. If anybody's looking for some MMA bets, go subscribe to Blood Money MMA Bets right here, man. He's been a long time supporter of the channel, as well. I mean, the channel's only been around for a year and a half, but he's been around for a while. So thank you, my friend. Now that Charles Islam is over, what's the fight you're most looking forward to in 2023? Johnny Bones Jones, Francis Ngannou. That's the fight I'm dying to see. I look forward to seeing the up-and-coming Raul Rosas in his fight on 282. Definitely going to be something to see the mentality of a 17, 18-year-old with a grown man. I think you meant. Yeah, it's going to be very interesting. And Jay Perrin is actually not an easy fight either. So it's going to be very interesting. Of course, now it jumped all the way to the bottom again. All the way to the bottom. Sorry, guys. I'm trying to catch up in the chat right now. Did you hear about the Croatian guy that's fighting on Bellator card? Supposedly, he's a beast. I'm trying to think who we're talking about. But I think I did, but I can't remember his name. Yeah, agree. More confident Usman. I like Izzy's chances, but Usman, one mistake cost him the fight. He holds Leon down for 25 minutes in the next fight. He goes to a decision, in my opinion. It's going to be interesting for sure. Is the UFC putting Nunes versus Valentina in the Brazil with Brandon Figg? I don't know. That's up in the air. Darren Till still doesn't look like he's in great shape. I haven't paid attention to anything, to be honest. So I'll have to check that out. Maybe it's recency bias, but these last two main events were the two most important fights of the year. I do agree with you as well. They're the two biggest fights of the year as well. For me, I've never been more excited than I was for Islam Oliveira and Izzy versus Pereira. So I'm with you. Bellator top 4 welterweights versus UFC top 4 in a class. Who you got? Depends on individual matchups, but I would take UFCs. Santiago versus Robbie Lawler, terrible matchmaking in my opinion. Agreed 100%. And maybe featured in my top 3 things I hate about UFC 282. Maybe. I already have my list. But maybe. Just a little hint there. From the few fights you've seen of them both, who do you think is more talented, Umar or Usman? I think they're both very talented. I lean Umar, though. Got COVID, feels like crap. It sucks. I'm sorry to hear that. I hope you feel better. Patty Mills, that does suck. That's super unfortunate. I hate being sick. I absolutely hate being sick. If you guys remember, I was sick as hell January of this year. And I was like really tired and terrible. I did a couple streams where I felt like that too. Has Benson Henderson been the best Bellator signing? No. You streaming 1 tomorrow? What time is 1 on? Let me take a look. What time is 1 coming on tomorrow? Prime Video. Is there a way to look at the schedule? 8 p.m. Eastern? I don't know. I'm doing a Bellator stream, so I'll probably just be flipping back and forth to both. Yeah, I'll probably flip back and forth to both, honestly. I didn't realize they were both on tomorrow. I really didn't. Best plain t-shirt is Uniqlo. I don't even know if I've ever heard of that. What is that, like an online thing? Let's Google it. Men's t-shirts. There you go. All right, I'll keep that in mind. Okay, where are we at? You stream, Mr. Joey, I have the same shirt. Well, great minds think alike. Bilal versus Burns should be next. I think Masvidal fights Leon if he loses to Usman. Dude, Masvidal is so fucking annoying. This is going to be... Maybe this is going to be an unpopular opinion. Cut Jorge Masvidal at this point. I know I've been throwing that around a lot. Like, cut this motherfucker. Dude really put out a video. And in his excuse for why he turned down Gilbert Burns 3 separate times, he literally said the midterms are over. And I don't want to talk about politics on this channel ever. But was he running for office? Was Jorge Masvidal running for office? Dude really used politics as an excuse for why he's turned down a fight 3 separate times. when he has not fought in what? 8 months? He hasn't fought since March, I believe. He hasn't fought 8 months. He said, yeah, haven't fought because of the midterms. Dude, are you running for office? Jorge Masvidal, and this comes from a guy who was a big fan of Jorge Masvidal for many, 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 many years. The biggest downfall of Jorge Masvidal was that flying knee to Ben Askren. The dude has turned into a total bitch since that knee landed on Ben Askren. He's way too high on himself. He thinks, basically, I'm Conor McGregor now. I can do whatever I want. I'm going to act like an idiot. I'm going to dress like an idiot. And I'm going to only dictate favorable matchups. I'm going to carry around a fake belt for beating up an old and journeyman Nate Diaz. I love Nate Diaz as well, but come on now. It's not a quality win. I'm going to parade around this fake belt. I'm begging for undeserved title shots. And now I'm saying, well, I'm not fighting until Leon versus Usman too. Because you know why? Masvidal wants to fight because he wants to get a title shot against Leon Edwards, which he's already been begging for. I think that flying knee, that spectacular finish, and all the attention he got really went to Jorge Masvidal's head, and he just hasn't been the same since. And it's crazy to think that since that flying knee, he beat Nate Diaz, and isn't that his last win, the Nate Diaz win? Right? Yeah, dude, he hasn't won since he beat Nate Diaz. And I know he's fought good competition, but dude, shut the fuck up at some point. Oh, I'm sorry, Gilbert. I'm sorry. I'm turning down fights. I'm not running for office. Like, dude, that's your excuse? Go back to fighting in backyards. I'm tired of this bullshit. I'm really, and I think you guys have kind of seen it on the channel a little bit. I'm tired of people, especially the welterweight division, refusing to fight top welterweights. Refusing. And I know he fought Colby. I'm not saying Jorge Masvidal is refusing to fight everyone or anything like that. But if you're just going to consistently turn down fights and then make up reasons, and then when you make up reasons, they don't even make sense. And it's just, for me, it's infuriating. It's infuriating. Cut Masvidal. Cut Wonderboy Thompson. I mean, if you're not willing to take on other contenders, just fuck right off. What's the point? The dude's probably begging for a Nick Diaz fight. And I was a huge Jorge Masvidal fan, but he's really started rubbing me the wrong way in the last 2 years. Shit's been unbelievably annoying. And Gilbert Burns is going to fuck him up badly, and that's why he don't want the fight. And he's looking for every reason to not fight him. And you can't convince me otherwise. So let me know what you guys think in the chat. Am I overreacting? Or I just don't think Masvidal ducked the Leon fight for literal years. He fought Colby because I guess the UFC made him an offer he couldn't refuse. He got dominated by Colby. Now he's sitting out for months on end and blaming it on issues that have nothing to do with him. And I don't think he wants to fight Gilbert. And then on top of that, he's begging for another undeserved title shot. Dude's fought for already, he got 2 title shots off of beating Nate Diaz. And now you want another one for losing to getting 50-45 by Colby Covington? Nah. But yeah, book Bilal Burns, cut Jorge Masvidal, send him over to Bellator. Joe, what do you think of Dominic Reyes saying he can't wait to get back in there? Cringe. The only champion that started this year as champ is Francis Volk and Valentina. That is nuts. Khamzat versus Colby also. Yeah, book it. I want Khamzat Chimaev versus Colby Covington badly. That's the fight. That's probably my number one non-title fight that I want to see. If Patty wins at 282, he needs to fight a top 15. I don't know about a top 15, but he needs to fight a step up, maybe like a Terrence McKinney. Joey, what time period in MMA was your favorite? For me, it's a tie between 2007 to 2014 or 2015 to 2019. I don't know. I want to say probably that 2015 to 2019, but I really enjoyed 2021. 2021 was really good. What do you think about Arnold Allen not getting an interim fight? Emmett versus Cater decision was controversial, and Yair getting a shot after one win, getting beaten by Max before. I mean, you could say the same thing about Arnold Allen. I mean, he got a weird win over Cater as well. So I think it's the best you can make of a shitty situation, basically. But again, for me, I would have done Emmett versus Holloway. I would have done Yair versus Arnold. If Emmett beat Holloway, he's the deserving number one contender. If Holloway won and Volk didn't come back, he would fight the winner of Arnold Allen Yair for the vacant belt. If Max Holloway won and Volk did come back, the winner of Yair versus Arnold would have been number one contender. So, but it is what it is. It's not a big deal, I don't think. But I just hate interim title fights. Would you rather have Khamzat fight Leon over Usman or fight Alex instead of Izzy if you had to pick one? I need to see both rematches, though. But if I had to pick one, Khamzat fighting Leon, because then I think we would get Khamzat Usman, which is a fight I really wanted to see. Do you care about Tank versus Ryan Garcia? I don't care about boxing at all. So, no. Looking forward to the Nunes-Pena trilogy. Yeah, me too. I mean, that world-class striking from Juliana Pena is really just something spectacular, to be quite honest. I've never seen something so spectacular in my life as Juliana Pena striking. Masvidal and Colby are the biggest clowns in the UFC. Yeah, that's true. If we were cutting Masvidal, can we cut Chandler for saying he still wants big fights instead of fighting these ranked contenders lower down? Hold on a second. Lower down, he had his chance. His dumb IQ ruined it. He also cut Gaethje too. Yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. I'm not a big fan of that saying, "Oh, I only want big fights." Dude, Rafael Fiziev is a big fight. So, but it is what it is. Olympic gold medalist David Taylor said he wants to begin in MMA after Paris 2024. He is welterweight middleweight. Do you think the UFC should sign novices like that? No. They need to get some experience. Masvidal was so heavily involved in midterms. Yeah, I don't... It doesn't matter. Dude, it's a terrible excuse. It's a terrible excuse, regardless. Finally, someone being real about Jorge. Jorge has had the worst, downfall I've ever seen in my life. Because he was like a fan favorite for a while. And that brutal flying knee really went to his head. And now he thinks he's the shit. You know, he thinks he's 3-weight world champion when he's on a 3-fight losing streak. So, I'm tired of this shit, honestly. And the welterweight division has been acting like this for years. Colby's in witness protection. Jorge don't want to fight Gilbert. Gilbert's fighting Khamzat. You know, Wonder Boy won't fight you if you wrestled in elementary school. I mean, I'm just sick and tired of this shit. Like, what is going on here? You're refusing to fight everyone? Like, come on now. Colby is too small for Khamzat. I don't know about all that, but maybe. Valentina almost her belt too. That is true. That was a very close fight against Talia Santos. That was a very, very close fight. Joey, do you like watching smaller weight divisions or heavier? I like them all. Elite level fighting is what I care about. Elite level fights, I will watch. Apparently, Henry versus Aljo is close to officially. What are your thoughts? Where did you see that at? Because I'm going to have to go find that. Where'd you see that? I would love to know. I'm looking. Where? Yeah, I have no idea what I'm looking for, but I don't see nothing. Yeah, I don't know. Let me know where you saw it. Gotta agree on that. I hate boxing. All the dirty clinching and politics ruin the sport. I don't know what ruined the sport, but I've never been a big fan of boxing. Let me go to a website. See if I can find this. Aljo. Izzy says he'll fight Pereira 2 more times. Yeah, I don't know where you saw this news about Aljo Henry being close, but I think that's the fight they make, by the way. I got to make a video on that. Yeah, there's nothing. There's literally nothing. I don't see anything. Speaking of that, did you see Dana White on Logan? No, I did not. Anything interesting? Any interest in seeing? No. There's no interest in me. Joey, I don't know if this is true or not, but someone met Colby recently and asked him when he's fighting Hamzat. He was dodging and stuff and said he wants the title shot with the winner of Usman Leon 3. What's funny is he was recently in Baltimore, and I thought about going and meeting him and asking him, but I ended up not doing it. Because I figured I wasn't going to get a real answer anyway. Welterweight division has the biggest pussies. You got to wait bully Hamzat and witness protection Colby. Dude, that's got to be Colby's new name. Is anybody else saying that at this point in time? Because I've been saying that for like 6 months. Witness protection Colby Covington. I hope that's caught on. I hope you guys are saying that in other corners of the internet now. Like, when that, if anybody else is saying that anywhere else, I started that. Colby Covington's in witness protection. I saw it on Insta. Yeah, it's probably some fake bullshit Instagram MMA page. I'm sorry to break it to you, Sam. I'm sorry to break it to you. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not already, like this stream. Like this stream. We got 70 people in the chat. We got 23 likes. Right down below, click the little thumbs up button. It helps push out the stream to more people. Also, anybody watching, check and make sure you're subscribed. You may not be subscribed. So make sure you're subscribed. We're almost to 6,000 subscribers, guys. We are like 20 subscribers away from 6,000. So subscribe to the channel. Is Colby going to try to avoid? Yes. Colby's been dodging fights for literally years. Dana White says Costa will never come at 5 a.m. again. Chad USADA does it again. Yeah, I made a video about Dana White and USADA and all that stuff. Never mind the Croatian guy fights for ONE FC. His name is Roberto Soldic. Apparently he was the shit in European MMA. Yeah, a lot of people wanted to see him come to the UFC. I've been saying it from you. Yeah. Yeah, dude, it's funny, dude. Colby really is in witness protection. I mean, he really is. So, I don't know. I want to see Colby fight again, but how old is Colby now? Colby's wasting like his entire career. Just sitting on the sidelines, being inactive. Colby is 34 years old. I mean, he's still got a couple years, but I mean, he hasn't fought since March 5th. March 5th since he last fought. Craziness. Your thoughts on the McGregor-Cerrone fight? It was a hand-picked, cherry-picked matchup for Conor to get a win. Is it true it's true the last couple months I've been preaching? That's hilarious. I appreciate it. What's going on, Joey? Did you hear Justin Gaethje is considering Fiziev as a possible next opponent? I supposedly said that in an interview. I didn't hear the interview with my own ears, but I did hear that. Hopefully it happens. I agree. That's the fight to make. Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev is filthy. Is absolutely filthy. I'm dying to see that matchup. There's so many great fights I want to see, and it just seems like they're not happening lately. I want to see Gaethje versus Fiziev. I want to see Hamzat versus Colby. I want to see... what was another one? I wanted to see Arnold Allen versus Yair Rodriguez, but that didn't happen either. I want to see McGregor versus Chandler. I want to see Tony Ferguson in retirement. That's probably not going to happen either. But road to 10K. Yep. If McGregor comes back, who would you like to see him fight? Michael Chandler. Or Rafael Fiziev. It's never going to happen. I'd love the Rafael Fiziev matchup, but I got a feeling he's going to fight the dead corpse of Tony Ferguson. Colby was surviving on his bank sponsorship Then they went bankrupt, so I'm expecting fight news soon. Press release from witness protection. Did they go bankrupt for real? Moicano wants money. He deserves it. He deserves the money for sure. Colby was punched in the back of the head allegedly by Masvidal, which can be life-threatening. Maybe he is medically advised to not fight yet, but he's been seen in clubs watching fights. Maybe, but he hasn't said that, so we're just speculating, but I get your point. Jorge is a woman's private part, okay. To be fair, Colby, after Usman or Masvidal fight, said he didn't want it to be active. I believe then the sucker punch thing happened. I don't know if he was... No, the sucker punch happened before that. Michael Chandler and Conor can grab each other's gloves, finger each other, and hold on to the cage. Yeah, and illegally knee each other as well during submission attempts. And fish hook each other. Hell, they can oil check each other as well. I'm sure they'll enjoy it. So, Tony versus Money Moicano. Have you heard of that? Please, God, no. Please, God, no. They're talking shit on Twitter. Really want that fight, Henry and Aljo. I think that's the fight to make, to be honest. All the crypto sites are going bankrupt because they're not making any more because that shit is a scam. Dude, French fries. How long I've been saying that? How long I've been saying that? Bro, know to punch the back of the head takes you out 10 months while you're still running your mouth on Twitter. I don't know, man. I mean, the thing is, him or his manager hasn't put out anything. Beneil versus Poirier, Allen versus Ortega makes to make. I don't know. Those sound like... Beneil versus Poirier sounds good. Allen versus Ortega? I don't know. I guess that's a fine fight to make. But how long is Ortega out? How long is he out? I know he had the shoulder injury or whatever. So I don't know. Cutman Tate versus Gilbert Burns. Who wins and how? I'll say Gilbert Burns by sub. But I don't know. Cutman Tate is massive. Aljo seems to be putting Henry at the back of the line. You know why that is, right? It's the worst matchup for him. Joey, do you bet on fights? Not really. No. Do you see Lawler retiring this fight? Probably not, but I wish he would. Wait, what? The sucker punch thing happened after the Masvidal fight. In the interview where he said he wanted to be active was before that. Colby hasn't done an interview since the sucker punch thing. Okay. What would be your UFC 300 dream card? I have no clue who's going to be at what point in their careers, but I'll say Khamzat Chimaev versus Shavkat Rakhmonov for the welterweight title as the main event. Arnold Allen versus Max Holloway. I like that matchup as well. I like that matchup. That'd be fun. That would really test how good Arnold Allen is. We put him against Max Holloway. That'd be very, very fun. If I see another Colby versus Khamzat fight done, fake news post, I swear, man. Dude, I've been shitting on it nonstop. This shit's annoying. These fake Twitters, these fake Instagrams with MMA news, just throw shit at the wall and hope it sticks. That's it. That's it. Allen versus Yair is a fight to make, in my opinion. Well, we already got Josh Emmett versus Yair Rodriguez, interim featherweight title fight at UFC 284, which I like the fight, but I hate that we're getting an interim title fight already. On the same card as Volk's fighting. I mean, I get it, but Aljo's been saying he wants O'Malley, and Sugar said he sat down with the UFC today to discuss what's next for the division, basically. We'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. UFC definitely doesn't like Henry Cejudo. But if I'm Aljo, I'm begging for the O'Malley matchup. I'm begging for the O'Malley matchup if I'm Aljo. That's the easy money for him. I don't think they're going to give McGregor a tough fight for his comeback fight. Yeah, I think they're probably going to give him the dead corpse of Tony Ferguson, to be quite honest. That's what I think is going to happen. Most of the biggest fighters today will no longer be fighting by UFC 300. It's a tough line of work, that's for sure. I mean, think about how quick the turnover is in the NFL. I'm an O'Malley fan and he gets choked out by Aljo as of right now. Agreed. The interim title fight is bullshit. Yeah. Oh, I didn't realize that was official. It's a cool matchup, but I don't think Emmett should be getting an interim title fight. I think Emmett lost his last 2 fights, so yeah. How many title defenses does Aljo have? 2. There was a fake post with Connor and Charles fighting each other confirmed. Dude, it's always this shit's always going on. Top of your head, least favorite champ of all time, not counting Esparza or Sterling. Of all time, since I've been watching, I hated Johnny Hendricks. I mean, I found him incredibly annoying. But there's probably someone else that I didn't like more. I'm trying to think. Honestly, I hated Weidman with a passion. The way he celebrated the leg break, I talked about this the other day. I mean, I hated Chris Weidman with a passion. I forgive him now that he's been brutally KO'd 17 times and broke his own leg. But the way Anderson Silva was my favorite fighter at the time. And the way he just celebrated as Anderson broke his leg, writhing in agony and dude's draping himself in the American flag, running around the octagon. Shit was just annoying as hell. But Esparza is on that list as well. It's awkward to have an interim belt in the same card as a legit champ in that weight. Maybe it's Volk plans to defend the lightweight belt first. Sure. Yeah, they're just doing it to do it. Why the hell is Tai Tuivasa not on the Australia card? Hope he gets the fight moved from Orlando to Australia. That's not going to happen. I'd love to see Holloway versus McGregor too. It sucks. Seems like only to fight at 170 now. Yeah. I wouldn't mind Holloway McGregor, but it seems McGregor's massive and he's on PEDs as well. Gilbert Burns will smash Masvidal, but Masvidal has some power and Gilbert's a little chinny, so it would be interesting. But I think Gilbert Burns smashes him. Johnny Hendricks looked annoying. Yeah, I hated Johnny Hendricks with a passion. I hate Kevin Holland. I find Kevin Holland extremely annoying too. But maybe it's the fact that he's just always out there talking shit and then like, yeah, Hamzat, you're not about that life. You're not about that life. A dude got smashed in like a minute. Like, dude, just shut your mouth. And the fact that he can't defend a takedown to save his life. Whew. How can we forget John Finch? Yeah. Thanks for the thought I answer. Anytime. I don't know why I said it, put an S on the end of that. Until I see Connor or John walk out to their fight, I'm not believing anything about them fighting as much as I like John in the ring. I can't stand to see rumors about him getting a fight done every week. Look, if you see it on my channel, you know it's real. And if it's pure speculation, I say it at the beginning of the video. One rule to always believe the fight which comes from official UFC account. MMA media does a terrible job at leaking matches and transfers. Yeah, that is true. I only follow... Well, Twitter's kind of a weird place nowadays because you can buy a check mark. But I tend to follow legitimate sources. So, but now Twitter's been acting weird lately. But you gotta look at legitimate sources. Otherwise, you're gonna get tricked all the time. But I see these dumbass fake newses all the time. They trick people out all the time. It's annoying. I see nothing. I just looked on Twitter just now. I see nothing but people tweeting that Twitter might be shutting down. I wonder if that's true. Probably just one of those things people are flipping out about. Rip Twitter, goodbye Twitter. 44 billion and Elon are all trending. Let's see. Maybe it's down for some people. Let me just clicked on it. Latest. Yeah, I don't see. I don't know. I'm not seeing any legit news on it. So who knows? I don't care. I don't get on it that much anyway. But it is a good place to find MMA news. Holland is like a troll. Dude talks crazy, but actually taking ass beating. Yeah, very true. Very true. Is Alex the worst middleweight champ of all time? I'll say no. But I didn't put really any meaningful thought into that, but I'll say no. I mean, he has great striking and brutal KO power. Nobody should wish anyone retires if it still brings them happiness. In any other sport, athletes play reduced roles for years. Yeah, but when you like a guy, you don't want to see him take brain damage. Grant Dawson said he planned on fighting Tony Ferguson and Dan Hooker next year. Dude, don't even remind me. I mean, if I see Grant Dawson out in public, dude, I'm sucker punching him just for calling out Tony Ferguson. So don't remind me. I mean, to look at Grant Dawson and seeing what he did against Mark Madsen and getting a really good performance and end up getting a finish, to call out the dead corpse of Tony Ferguson, what the fuck is wrong with you? I hope your family disowns you for that. That's embarrassing. Dude really isn't thinking shit out. No, absolutely not. Read that. Johnny Hendricks missing weight was pretty annoying too. Dude had no discipline. I remember hearing rumors out of camp he was getting up over 230, which is crazy. He was fighting at 170. I'm not convinced Holland catching bad people in the streets isn't staged. It seems that way to me as well. Any guess on what the next MMA bobblehead will be? Which one would you like to have next? I don't know, but there's one being announced in 2 weeks. But I don't know if there's been any hint. But hopefully it's something good. What about Holloway versus Gaethje at lightweight? I think that would be sick co-main. I don't know, man. I think Holloway gets beat up pretty bad. The power differential. Thoughts on MMA media reporting on YouTube boxing? Absolutely hate it, but I understand it. Look, these people are desperate. They're very desperate. Everybody wants clicks. Everyone wants views, whether it be an article, whether it be a video, whether it be a YouTube video. And some people's income rely on those clicks. And sometimes there just isn't enough day-to-day news. And also, I believe the MMA media in general is like constantly grasping at bullshit headlines that nobody cares about instead of putting out well thought out written articles. And no one wants to read articles anymore anyway, to be honest. No one's reading those articles anymore. People want video content. People don't want to read articles anymore. And they see that they can get views and clicks with YouTube boxing, which is why there's plenty of people making YouTube boxing prediction videos, YouTube boxing videos in general about the announcements and coverage. Because the 14-year-olds, the 15-year-olds, 16-year-olds, they like that shit. And it generates interest and gets a bunch of clicks. For me, I don't support it. I don't care about it. I don't like it. I will not personally support it. But it is what it is. I mean, I find it a bit annoying that MMA, you don't see boxing covering MMA ever. But MMA is constantly covering boxing. It just seems like desperate in my opinion. I don't know if you heard Twitter's going downhill. I see employees sabotaging the company and company. This is an MMA channel, so I won't go into depth, but it's pretty crazy. I just saw when I was on here, apparently Twitter has lost a ridiculous amount of employees. And literally every single person is tweeting about goodbye Twitter. Goodbye Twitter. Goodbye Twitter. So we'll see what happens. It's not like I live or die on there. I hate social media in general. But I do like to follow all the legitimate MMA reporters that do have some good news coming out. Some, what's the word I'm looking for? Credible news. Do you think fighters like John and Gon have better advantage at heavyweight because of the better cardio? I mean, better cardio is going to give you an advantage in any division. So, yes. Twitter ain't shutting down. It might become subscription-based. Oh, that doesn't sound very good. Joey, do you like YouTube? Yes, I like YouTube a lot. I watch YouTube a lot. I post on YouTube a lot. So, yes, I do like YouTube. Cheeto calling out Jan. That'd be a fun fight. Do you think Usman will be hesitant in a rematch against Leon due to getting flatlined? I think he'll be more wrestling-centric in a rematch. Alex has just become champ, and somehow he's the worst champ. That's just some strange logic. Agreed. Alex is the worst middleweight champ of all time. I didn't say that. I read that off someone. And I said, no, it's too early to tell. You don't know. He just won the title. Is there any fighter probably female, or did I say that? I don't know what I said now at this point. I don't think I said that. Is there any fighter probably female you find boring? It gets you sleepy? There's a bunch, but off the top of my head, I can't name a bunch. Yan will smash Cheeto? Yes. Did you not see what he did in Glory? Pereira. Grant Dawson versus Tony Ferguson confirmed. I will burn UFC headquarters down. Out of all the crazy callouts you can remember, Conor winning Diego Sanchez is probably one of the worst. Dude, Conor begging to fight CTE riddled Diego Sanchez with Joshua Fabia in his corner is the most embarrassing thing Conor McGregor has ever done. I don't know how anyone could still support him after begging and pleading for a Diego Sanchez fight, where he literally posted screenshots of messages with Dana White begging to fight Diego Sanchez. That's the most embarrassing moment ever. I mean, literally, that's one step away from getting caught by Chris Hansen. You know? That is really bad. Do you think that Volk has a serious chance of beating Islam? Yes and no. I favor Islam heavily in that fight. Did you watch McGregor? Did you watch Mayweather versus Deej or no? I don't even know what that is, to be honest. So no. Gilbert win the 170 title? I think it's possible. Unlikely though. I need wine and no Islam will end him. No chance, okay? Not lost. They've been fired by the new boss. Okay? Go look at what Elon tweeted. I'm not that worried about it. Elon fired half of Twitter staff. They didn't do shit anyway besides go to meetings all day. Yeah, I saw something about that when I was just on there. Like they've lost 90% of their staff or something. Do you prefer watching UFC pay-per-view with people or alone? Mainly alone. Mainly alone. Sup, Joey? What's up, Mukhtar? Guys, do you know what Alex would do to Bisping? Yeah, Bisping's the worst middleweight champion of all time. There you go. Skill for skill. Fell asleep at 7 p.m. shaking my head. That sucks. The part that kills me, Joey, is how the media will cover YouTube boxing and not give the same energy to Glory or all the other martial arts, but God forbid JP is fighting like, what the F? They want those clicks. Bisping, Luke, Weidman, Evan, Tanner. Not sure if Pereira is better than MMA than any of those guys. It's too early to tell anyway. Chandler can lose 10 fights in a row and still think he is 1 win away from a title shot because his fights are exciting. The Dana White privilege Michael Chandler has. Conor's such a joke at this point. I have no idea how anyone thinks he deserves a title shot. It's a joke. What are your thoughts on Michael Chandler's next walkout song? Don't care one shit. Is Islam still the best middleweight? No, he lost. What is the UFC going to do with Molly McCann now? Give her easy fights to hype her up again? Probably just give her like mildly winnable fights. He immediately offered jobs back. Dude is an idiot. I haven't followed it too closely, but I know Twitter has made some questionable decisions that has kind of like, I don't want to say ruined the service, but it's made it like where you don't, you know, to let anyone buy a check mark for whatever it was, $6 or $8 or whatever. There was people making fake Ariel Helwani accounts and then tweeting out news, and they had the blue check mark, and it was like, who thought that was a good idea? So, yeah. What's up, Joey? What's going on? What's up? What's up, Bitsy? What is going on? Born into wealth? I did not know that. Isn't Rich Franklin the worst middleweight of all time? No. Whatever happened to Bellator kickboxing? Did they have Bellator kickboxing, or were they just co-promoting with Glory? YouTube boxing is a better version of celebrity boxing, which has been around for years. Higher level celebs and pro athletes. In my opinion, it's the best version. It's terrible. It's terrible. And the MMA media is just obsessed with it. I got to cover some YouTube boxing because guess what? Guess what? JP pays me. That's Ariel Helwani. He's getting checks. You think Bisping's overrated? I'm a newer fan, so I don't know the perception that he is really good. Bisping was always like middle of the road, but very good. Bisping was like a really good gatekeeper. And he basically got a fluke win over Luke Rockhold. I hate to say it, but that's the truth. On short notice, Luke Rockhold had already dominated him like a year before. And so Luke went into it very, very confident. And I actually bet, one of the very few bets I've ever made, I bet on Bisping to win by knockout. And Bisping was never really great by any means. Do you have a controversial MMA take that will trigger casuals? I've already went over this, but I don't think Conor was ever as good as people made it out to be. And I don't even think he has a great legacy in the sport. So that one really gets people triggered. And also, Joe Rogan's commentary sucks. Joe, do you plan on doing any fight companions soon? Yes, but I'm not sure which ones. I hate that this Saturday's super early. It's been a bit. It's actually been a bit since I did a fight companion, which is crazy. I didn't even realize it. Because there's been so many shit cards, and then it's like I haven't felt like doing it. Let's see when's the last fight companion I did. 280, 3 weeks ago. 280 is the last watch along I did. It got 6,000 views. Shout out to you guys for checking that out. Oh, I'm doing a fight companion tomorrow for Bellator. What am I talking about? Tomorrow for Bellator, I will be live. They had Bellator kickboxing. Their last event was sometimes early 2021. And haven't had anything since. I don't even remember that. But yeah, I guess that's probably dead. I hate how the media blows everything out of proportion, like Izzy getting arrested. He was given the brass knucks from a fan. And from what I understand, he was only briefly detained. He wasn't even arrested, dude. That's why the MMA media is failing. Nobody cares anymore. I'm one of the most hardcore MMA fans there is. I don't remember the last time I clicked on an MMA article. Genuinely, I don't remember the last time I clicked on an MMA article. So, it is what it is, I guess. Okay. Bro, he had one eye. F you mean fluke? It was a fluke, dude. He wasn't the better fighter. Did Bisping defend his title at all? No, he did not. He actually did. I'm wrong. He did against Dan Henderson. But I thought he lost the fight, and Dan Henderson got a title shot. He was ranked like number 14 in the division. But because Dan Henderson had brutally KO'd him in the past, there was like a storyline, and Dan Henderson got a rematch. Even though he didn't deserve it, and he was like 47 years old. And I thought Dan Henderson won and got robbed. But then he went on to lose to GSP. So yes, Bisping defended his belt, but it was against, I think Henderson was ranked like number 13 or 14 at the time. Imagine that. Imagine number 13 or 14 getting a title shot. Let's look at the divisions right now. Imagine Jeffrey Molina getting a title shot against Davison right now. Imagine Chris Gutierrez getting a title shot against Aljamain Sterling. Imagine Edson Barboza getting a title shot against Volkanovski. Imagine Renato Moicano getting a title shot against Makhachev right now. Imagine Neil Magny getting a title shot. Or Dreykus getting a title shot. Or Jimmy Crute getting a title shot. Or Alexander Romanov getting a title shot against Francis Ngannou. That's how bad that was at the time. They gave Dan Henderson an unwarranted title shot. It was disturbing. Let me look. And I love Dan Henderson too. And Dan Henderson, I thought he won the fight. But he didn't deserve a title shot. Let's see. What was he on? That was his retirement fight. He was on a 1-fight winning streak against Hector Lombard. And he had won 2 out of his last 5 in trading wins and losses. And being brutally KO'd quite a bit. I thought he beat Bisping though at 204. I thought he beat him, to be honest. And he did not deserve a title shot. Who's the most well-rounded fighter of all time? My opinion is GSP, but I'm sure there's no wrong answer. GSP, very well-rounded. John Jones, very well-rounded. Volkanovski, Piotr Jan, very well-rounded. Bisping is actually very well-rounded as well. Not that I'm going to say he's one of the best, but yeah, there's no bad answer to that one. But I'll say John Jones. Could Hamzat hypothetically be double champ right now? Yes. I favor Hamzat over both Leon and Pereira, but I do worry about Pereira's size. Hope Ricky Taricos does better in his fight coming up? Yes. How do you watch Bellator? Is it on YouTube? For me, it's on Showtime. But if you have a VPN and set it to Canada, you can watch it on YouTube. GSP took his belt. Yep. GSP choking out Bisping, then become middleweight champ. Chef's kiss. I don't know what that means. But dude, Bisping, honestly, GSP, honestly, like, I was a huge GSP fan, and I love that he retired the way he did the first time. But then he cherry-picked Michael Bisping and then refused to fight afterwards. It was kind of like, ugh. I thought it was kind of shitty. It was kind of shitty. Guys, do me a favor. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Twitter, go follow me on Instagram or Twitter at MMA Joey C. Go follow me on Instagram. Go follow me on Twitter. I try to post on there pretty often. You guys want updates when like streams are going to be a little bit late, or I might be jumping on a random stream. Go follow me on Instagram and Twitter right now. Would greatly appreciate it. Bro, what? How the F is Volkanovski not a top 5 featherweight? He's number 1. What are you talking about, bro? I never said that. I never said that. I don't know what you're talking about. And now my nose is itching. I think Volkanovski's number 1. I think Volkanovski's number 1 featherweight of all time. So, I don't know what you mean. Gutierrez is a decent fighter. Agreed. Joey is wrong. Didn't even finish reading what I wrote. I said the best version of reality TV there is. I'd rather watch Chad Okocinco fight than Desperate Housewives. Also, Street Beefs is dope. All right. John Jones agreed. I live in Canada, so that's good. So it is on YouTube, yes. It is on YouTube for you. I didn't even think of that. I forget people who watch this are all over the world. I just can't give Jones credit for anything. The dude cheated with roids his entire career and beat his wife in front of his kids. And now my mustache is just making my nose itch. It makes me want to get off here, honestly. It's pissing me off. Just tickling my nose horribly. But, yeah, Jones is a scumbag for sure. Daniel Cormier is definitely up there with most well-rounded fighters of all time. Agreed. I see what you mean. I see what you mean. What's up, Joey? What's up, Charles? MMA Junkie's pretty awesome resource. Luke does a pretty good job covering the sport. Yeah, I guess so. I think Need Wine has a bit. Yeah. I don't even know what he was talking about there. Constantly growing. Thank you for being a member. 11 months of membership. He says 12-month badge incoming. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. It's hard to believe. It's hard to believe. Member for almost a full year. If anybody else wants to become a member of the channel, listen. You get extra live streams. You get custom emojis to use in the chat and comments. You get access to the members-only Discord. A bunch of behind-the-scenes stuff I post on the members-only community tab as well as the Discord. And it's a great way to support the channel. And it's only $3. It is only $3, and you can cancel at any time. If you want to become a member, the link is in the description, but I will also post it in the chat. Boom. There you go. If you want to become a member. Thank you, Constantly Growing, for your long 11 months of membership. Jose Aldo, greatest featherweight. I think Volkanovski surpassed it at this point, but maybe if you consider the WEC for Aldo, I gotta get it. Met Glover, rooting for him. I mean, how can you not like Glover? I still can't believe 281 was way better than 280. Who would have thought that a month ago? That is very true. Why not shave it all off? Boom, problem solved. I used to shave all my facial hair, maybe once every 2 months. But then I didn't want to do it because now my channel, you guys wouldn't recognize me. Jones is a scumbag, but he's the best fighter of all time, which makes beating his wife even worse. Yes, very true. Sean, yes, I like Glover. Yo, fam, can't even lie. Some beautiful ladies keeping up with MMA. I was shocked. Pam, 281, the ladies outside. Okay. Are you watching the World Cup this Sunday? I could not care less. I could not possibly care less about soccer. I care that little. Bro, you gotta grow your beard cheek line higher. Why? Why do I have to do that? Man, it's crazy how Jan should be champion with at least 2 title defenses right now. I know, Jan is in a really shitty spot. A really, really shitty spot. It's super unfortunate. It's unfortunate. I mean, he's on a losing streak, and he should have a couple title defenses in the bank right now. But instead, he should be pound for pound, like number 1 or number 2. He's not even in the pound for pound rankings. Which is crazy to me. So, I mean, it's super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Become a member. Discord is amazing. Thank you, French fries. UFC 281 over UFC 280. Yeah, I agree with that 100%. Call me crazy, but I truly believe Gilbert Burns will get the title and dominate the division for years to come. He wasn't at his best against Hamzat. Yeah, I'll call you crazy. I don't think so. Do you think Jan actually leaves the organization? No. The part that just looks like you haven't got haircut is where your beard is naturally sitting at. The part just looks like you haven't got the haircut where your beard is just naturally sitting at. I don't know what you mean. I'm not sure what you mean. You got that Dagestani beard, call yourself Joey Nurmagomedov? Yeah. Tan is a badass. I don't get it. Yan is a badass. Yes. Joey Nurmagomedov. Think Glover can get his belt back? For sure, Glover could get his belt back. I mean, Glover was on his way to winning that first fight. He was going to win. But I think Jiri can easily win as well if he comes in a little bit more measured. A little bit more measured. I think he can come in and win it. His grappling looked really good. His striking and his knockout power is unbelievable. Glover's getting old, slower, coming off a massive war. I'm leaning Jiri. I'm probably picking Jiri in a rematch, to be honest. It's crazy, though. He won 5th round submission. I think Alex has some serious jiu-jitsu skills. He can definitely sub. No. They own your beard. I'm not even sure what they mean, to be honest. Izzy was froze. I'm not even saying that. Who would you pick between Jan and Jiri if it happened? Oh my, dude, that's a tough fight to pick. I'd probably pick Jan because I feel like he would land and put him to sleep. That's a very compelling matchup, though. Bro, got to show that signed collection sometime. I actually have a members-only video on the channel of all my MMA memorabilia. So, if you want to see that, become a member. There you go. Sparza will come back and okay. You saw the picture of Jiri training with Francis in the Discord right now? No, I did not. Let me go take a look. Let me take a look. No, I did not see. I didn't really pay attention to Discord too much today. I was busy all day. So you use beard oil or something? No, I don't use any beard oil. Nope. I have some, but I've very rarely ever used it. Is there a way Luis Smoka can break back into the top 10? Has he ever been in the top 10? How do I become a member? The link is down in the description, my friend. It says right next to it. Let me just double check. Yeah, it's the first link in the description. It says become a member. So, do you think Alex might have weight problems? Dude, he looks huge. Alex Pereira looks humongous. So, I mean, he's able to cut the weight now. He's done it 3 times in the UFC, so maybe he's able to continue to do it. But he looks massive. Alex looks like a purple belt, but I believe he just received his brown belt, which makes no sense just because he won the fight. What do you think about Shogun fighting at 283? I don't think he should be fighting anymore. Do you think Zhang versus Lemos is next? If so, who do you got? I would take Weili Zhang And that could happen at 283 in Brazil. It wouldn't shock me if they decide to do that at 283 in Brazil. Alex P is huge. Yeah, I always knew he was big. I didn't realize how big he was until I saw him against Adesanya. Frank Yeager shouldn't retire. Dude, you've been drinking too much. I can't even read your messages anymore. What do you... Yeah, I have no idea what this even means, so I'm not even going to... I don't think that's healthy. He comes into the fight at 220. That's crazy. I thought Shogun retired. No, he's fighting at 283. I saw Andrade was calling for the Wadley rematch since he already beat Lemos. That is true. But Lemos just got a big stoppage win over Marina Rodriguez, even though she landed no shots up against the fence. Terrible stoppage. Josh Emmett will beat Volk. Frankie must retire. Agreed. I think Rob is going to be too small for Alex. Izzy towered over Rob. Yeah, dude. Alex will be massive compared to Robert Whittaker. Oh, my God. But Robert Whittaker has much better grappling. It'd be interesting just because I would be interested just to see the size difference between the two. Do you think John Jones ever comes back? Yes. I'll never get over how some guys can put on 30 in 20 hours. Yeah, it's pretty crazy. What are you talking about? Jan is in the pound for pound. He's number 13. Is he? No, he's not. He's not. So you just straight up lied. What do you think should be next for Arnold Allen? We were talking about it earlier in the chat. Either Brian Ortega or Max Holloway. And now my mustache is continuing to itch my nose like terribly. So this is now a stream of me just scratching my nose persistently. I am trimming my mustache tomorrow before I come on the stream. No. Whittaker grappling is very good. Agreed. If Jones comes back and loses in dominant fashion, does he just retire? Probably. I mean, that'd be a nightmare for him. I don't know what else he's got going on. Do you think he should fight the Mitchell-Topuria winner? I mean, maybe. Maybe. I'd like to see Arnold versus Max, though. But both those fights are good. Allen versus Mitchell-Topuria winner could be good. Yeah, it's a fine matchup as well. Wouldn't surprise me if UFC tries sneaking O'Malley into the pound-for-pound rankings. Can you imagine? Yair versus Josh prediction. I could see Josh Emmett out wrestling him, but Yair is such a much better striker. Early prediction, Yair Rodriguez by KO. I just can't pick a Josh Emmett that I think has lost his last two fights. Can Topuria beat Islam? No. I hate interim title fights. 284 should be both guys. Should be Allen versus Ortega. I mean, I wish there was no interim title fight. I know it's early, but I like how active Islam wants to be. Yes, I like active champions. Active champions are my favorite champions. So I'm really looking forward to hopefully Islam stays very, very active. So we will see what happens. But he's fighting a quick turnaround, late October to early February. That's awesome. 3 months, 3-month turnaround. I think Herb should have gave more time against Usman. Yeah, that's true. I like Emmett, but Volk might have insanely good performance against him if they fought. I think Volk smokes Josh Emmett badly. I think Volk smokes him badly. Volk is just so good on the feet. All Emmett does is punch forearms, basically, and win fights that way. I thought he lost to Danny Gay, and I thought he lost to Calvin Kattar. When does Bo Nickel fight? Supposedly in March, I think, was rumored. He was supposed to fight in December, but then it got moved to March, I believe. If I had it my way, I would take out every belt. Yeah, there you go. There you go. Yep. I can't stand interim titles. Especially when it seems like they're unnecessary. But it is what it is. It's crazy. We already been on here for an hour and a half, guys. An hour and a half. Let me know in the chat who is joining me for my Bellator stream tomorrow night. Who is joining me for my Bellator stream tomorrow night? I would love to know. I would love to know who's joining me. Okay, where are we at? Yeah. What should Jarrett Cannonier improve on? I don't know, man. He's got good power. He's got decent striking. He's got decent wrestling. I don't know, man. I just think striking's got to get a little bit better. He's got to find a home for that power against the elite of the elite. He can't land. So maybe his striking accuracy, his combinations. I never hit anyone's messages in chat till today. You can hide like people's messages like as just a random watcher. Let me check that out. I didn't know you could do that. Is that a new feature? Is that a new feature? Let me go check that out real quick. I'm curious to see this. I didn't know you could do that. Oh, you can block somebody? Is that what you're talking about? It doesn't show me hide. Let me like my own stream while I'm in here. What the hell? Jeez Louise. Bitsy, thank you for the $5 super chat. I greatly appreciate you. I greatly appreciate you. What's up? What's up? What's your Bellator picks? For the top 2 fights, I am going with Corey Anderson by like a 3rd, 4th round TKO, maybe even decision. And for Usman Nurmagomedov, I can't remember what I picked him by. I think I took him by 2nd round TKO. But either way, I got Nurmagomedov and I have Corey Anderson. So, okay. Let me see something. Hold on one second, guys. Guys, if you haven't liked the stream yet, like the stream. I might hop on. Bo Nichols fighting. I'll probably be here for Bellator. Appreciate you. That's a tough question. I'm not sure what separates him. I think Janet Cannonier is a great fighter with power, just not sure what separates him from. Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Yeah, that's the thing. It was hard to pick out. Like, what does he really need to improve on? Because he is very well rounded and he's very good, but he's just not the upper echelon. Like, you can't compete with a guy like Robert Whitaker or Israel Adesanya. I think Jared Cannonier is a great fighter. Okay, read that. Is Ankalaev versus Blachowicz a very tough fight? Yan is unpredictable as he can turn up either good or bad on his day. I think Ankalaev wins with his grappling. Look what Glover did to him. I think Ankalaev has very good grappling. Did you see Mackenzie Dern and Usman are both single? Watch McGregor get divorced and come in the comeback. What do you mean, Usman? What are you talking about? What's up, Joey? Does Derek Lewis get it done or is he done? He is done. He is done. And thank you again, Bitsy, for the $5 super chat. I know I was a little bit distracted when I was answering that one. I'm a casual when it comes to Bellator. Is there a way for fighters to be seen to come to the UFC? I mean, they have to fight out their contracts, but most times they're really good. Bellator tries to lock them up. Does Josh Emmett have a chance against Yair? Yes. Against Volk? No. Besides Silva, if you could take 1-2 fighters out of retirement, who would you bring back? Also, if you could see one fighter besides Silva back in their prime, who would it be? I guess GSP, Tony Ferguson, Habib. There you go. Did you see Strickland fighting that troll? No, I did not. Smash the like button. Yes. Like the stream. And also, Double check and make sure you are subscribed to the channel. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. We are 20 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers, which is absolute straight up insanity. Actually, we've gained a couple subs since we've been on here. I think we were over 20. We are 19 subscribers away from 6,000 subscribers. So if you want to be one of the first 6,000 and get a massive prize, you better subscribe to the channel right this very second. Derek Lewis is my favorite fighter. Usman isn't married anymore. He's single. Kamaru Usman was married? I didn't know that. I'm trusting Lewis third round KO. I mean, Lewis always has that nuclear power. So if he lands, it's over. And Sergey Spivak has terrible head movement. You can fight an Indian reservation. On UFC Fight Pass, Jan is ranked. Why is that? No clue. No clue. I don't know. I just look at the UFC rankings. I rewatched the Sean versus Jan fight, and so-called takedown Sean got at the last second of the first round was actually Jan sprawling, then Sean taking his back. 20 more subs till 6K. Let's go. Yeah, I mean, the idiots hyping up everything O'Malley did in that fight are ridiculous. He got his ass beat for 3 rounds and somehow got gifted a decision. Robert Whittaker gets neglected because of his loss to the Izzy's, but has such an impressive career. I would agree 100%. Robert Whittaker would be long reigning champion if not for Izzy. Strickland versus Cannonier is such a weird matchup. Yeah, and it's right around the corner too. I'm going to look up what's upcoming. So we got Lewis versus Spivak, Thompson versus Holland, Prochazka versus Teixeira, Cannonier versus Strickland, and then we are off for literally a month. A month of no MMA. And then we come back to piss poor 283, which doesn't look great. Then we got an amazing 284. I'm hoping 285 has John Jones, Francis Ngannou. So we'll see what happens. I like Strickland, but don't see him doing well against Cannonier. Cannonier is very, very good. I'm 50-50 on that fight. I don't know who I'm picking yet. I actually went to see the new Black Panther. I'm pretty surprised Usman had such little screen time and dialogue. Why would you be surprised? Usually they're only in there to just briefly show up for like 10 seconds. Are you interested in ONE FC tomorrow? Mildly. If you make a dude sprawl and then take his back, that's a takedown, I would say. I don't know. I don't remember that specific instance, but that's not a takedown. But maybe. The things we have to do, the things we would do to have prime Tony back. Yeah, I miss prime Tony Ferguson. GSP has a better cameo than Usman. Okay. Is 283 going to get another title fight? It better. I mean, it looks lackluster as it sits right now. A month of no MMA, guys. They better get another banger fight for 283 because as of now, it's looking like trash. Yeah, it doesn't look great right now. I think 283 is going to be canned because Amanda's walking her kid to school. I mean, even with an Amanda headliner, I'm not too high on that. Who's the most brain damaged fighter in your opinion? I don't know, man. Maybe Diego. Predictions on Patty versus Gordon. I feel like Patty might get hurt in this one. I'm 50-50. I got to dig into the fight a little bit more. But I slightly lean Patty. I just think he's so big. But Gordon can get it done. For sure. It's a slight step up in competition. So, I don't know. I don't know yet. I will be doing a prediction for that. I'm actually got to see. Let's take a look through. How many predictions am I doing for 282? 1. Darren Till Dreykus. 2. Bryce Mitchell, Ilya Taporia. 3. Patty. Ew, I don't know if I'm doing Santiago Ponzinibbio, Robbie Lawler, but maybe. Jan Blachowicz and Prochazka Teixeira. I'm doing probably 5 or 6. There's a lot of great fights on that card, though. I might do a Jay Perrin, Raul Rosas Jr. too, because I think that'll do a lot of really good views. So we'll see what happens. How about Mitchell versus Topuria? Should be another banger. I'm really looking forward to that one. Who am I leaning? I'm leaning Topuria. People forget how good he is on the ground. Patties always gets cracked at least once in every one of his fights. Fake shot to make them sprawl and back take is called super duck under. I don't know if it's considered a takedown or not, but it's a very legit wrestling move. Fair enough. Bo Nickel is injured and will not fight until March. UFC 285. The month of new UFC is going to feel like the start of the pandemic again. It's going to be unfortunate for sure. But I'd rather have that than Mackenzie Dern, Yan Xiaonan shit cards. Does Gordon even have power? It's not crazy power, but he has okay. Oh, Patty's hurt. He's hurt. Thoughts on Moroz? Did you see that pick? I'm Christian. I ain't looking. God bless you. I have no thoughts. I know I got the pace. I know he's got the pace and ground game to make it competitive. Darren Till. Yes, very true. Darren Till, thanks for letting me know. Poirier seems a bit concussed during the aerial interview at the airport, was talking like H.E. I watched it. I didn't pick up on that. I'm not excited for Figgy versus Moreno 4. I am, but I don't think it should necessarily be the main event, especially with the way the card looks right now. The card looks horrific. If you look at the stat, it was not counted. Come on now. What happened with the one weight cut today? I have no idea. Who would you pick for Poirier, Dariush? I don't think Dariush has the grappling to just take Poirier down and control him. And I think Poirier is much better on the feet. So I lean Poirier. Honestly. I think he gets it done on the feet. And if they make that fight, it's got to be a 5-round. So. Dude, I'm really looking forward to Sarukian versus Ismagulov. I'm really looking forward to that fight. That's one of my favorite fights for the rest of the year. To be quite honest. As crazy as that sounds, that's a great fight. Sarukian versus Ismagulov. That's a crazy good fight. I might rewatch Esparza versus Rose 2 the whole month, break twice a day. Yeah, I think that's the best way to go, Bitsy. I think that's the best way to go. They always didn't count. Who cares what they count as takedowns and not takedowns? It's literally irrelevant. Do you make PFL predictions? Very rarely. Moicano called out Hooker after beating Riddell. Do you like that matchup? Yeah, I think Hooker versus Moicano would be fun. And both of them had huge wins. So they're both back on the winning track. Why not book it? It makes sense to me. And it'd be a great, that fight's an amazing stylistic matchup as well. So you can sign me up for that one. Let's see. Okay. O'Malley and Jan need a rematch. Jan definitely deserves a rematch, but he's not going to get it. They can add Cheeto versus Marab O'Malley to 283 and make it a Latin American card instead of Brazil. Okay. I do agree that... Okay, you guys. What's up, Joey? What's going on? If Pereira moves up and fights Blachowicz, who do you got? I don't know. Either guy can get knocked out. I'd probably take Pereira, though. No, I'd take Blachowicz. He'd out-grapple him, probably. Yeah, I'd take Blachowicz. He'd out-grapple him, and Pereira wouldn't have a size and strength advantage. I hope Lewis wins this weekend. Do you think he gets cut if he loses? Probably doesn't get cut just because he's a fan favorite and the heavyweight division's god-awful. But it's not... He may very well. But I don't think so. I think the UFC will keep him around and probably feed him a couple really winnable matchups in his next few fights after this one if he loses this one. Aljo or CCC, if they fight, next year, I would go CCC all the way. I would take Hamzat over Pereira. Me too. What's up, Joey? Coming in late. What's up, Billy? Make sure you like the stream. Do you see Jan going on a win streak? Yes. Any good matchups for Buckley at 170? Honestly, in the top 15, no. I mean, he could maybe beat Michel Pereira. I think he beat Neil Magny. So, yeah, I think there's a couple winnable matchups there. For there. What's next for Riddell? Basically, he's retired at this point. He said he's stepping away from MMA for a while. Pereira finished Izzy when Jan couldn't, yet Jan won 5-0. Interesting fight. Very true. Very true. Do you train? No. I think if he gets finished, he's cut. Give me Derek Tuivasa all day. They've already fought each other, and Tuivasa KO'd him. Topuria will destroy Bryce. We will see. I lean Topuria. Man, Derek is in a different place mentally. Seems to be a bit more calmer outside the ring, but don't help in his fighting. I haven't paid attention too much, so I don't know. Do you think better defensive grappling should count in fighters' favor in a fight? It depends what's going on, man. But yeah, I guess so. Yeah, Jack, I just wonder if he had the motivation after losing decisions. What are we talking about? Oh, you guys are talking about something else. Have you trained before? I just wear Venom gear, and basically you're a professional fighter when you wear Venom gear. What's next for Shavkat? Shavkat is fighting Jeff Neal. I think on the January card. Man, the way Bryce handled Barboza, hard to bet against him. Yeah, I picked Barboza against Bryce, and I was shocked the way he was able to out-grapple him. But Barboza's getting up there in age, I guess. People said Beneil can't grapple much, and Gamrot is a good wrestler, but Beneil beat him. Fair enough. Dana's Boyd Chandler, interesting, but I don't see him getting cut after he loses. Do they give him easy matchups now? Probably not. They just try to make more exciting fights with him until he starts getting brutally KO'd left and right. What would you like to see next for Chandler? I want to see Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor next. I think that's a really fun fight to make. So, Venom Gear, good answer. Who would you like to, okay, maybe throw Moicano at him or someone lower ranked? I want to see McGregor. I didn't read the rest of that message, but now I did. Nobody beats Father Time. Agreed. City Kickboxing and Trevor Whitman's fighters have really been bad this year. Yep, I'm no BJJ expert, but I don't think Pereira deserves a brown belt. It's weird when they give fighters like belts, even though they didn't do anything. You know, it's just a publicity thing. What would you like to see next for Neil Magny? I don't know, man. Rogaine, a toupee. That hairline is just god awful. I can't get past that hairline. I can't even assess his skills because it's the worst hairline I've ever seen in my life. Predictions for Vicente Luque, Michel Pereira. Honestly, at this point, I don't think I'm ever picking Vicente Luque again. He's failed me so many times. At this point, who would you favor in a fight between Reyes and Gustafsson? CTE. That's what I would favor. How do you think UFC 282 will stack against 281 so far? It's hard to say, but 281 on paper is a lot better than 282, I think. Call me crazy, but I still want to see Conor versus RDA. That's a matchup that could get made, but I'm doubtful that gets made. I just have a gut feeling they're going to feed Tony to Conor for some reason. Man, Conor versus McGregor, yes. Man, Hamzat could run through Alex on a good day. I agree. Bro, people always like to say Chandler should get cut while Tony over here with 5 straight losses. Okay. Magny versus Luque. That makes sense right now, too. And I like Tony, but he should retire for sure. For sure. Prediction for RDA versus Brian Barberina. I got RDA in that one. I think RDA is just too good for Brian Barberina, even though he's on his way out. I think Bo Nickel even has a good shot of beating Alex if you think about the grappling. I know, as crazy as that sounds, I do agree. On paper, it'd be one-sided. Is Derek Brunson fight against Jack Hermanson his retirement fight? It should be, but I don't know. I haven't paid attention to it. Hamzat can't stand with Alex P. Yeah, but he doesn't need to if he can take him down immediately. Do you think people will know if UFC fighters were scripted? Probably, yeah. UFC wouldn't do that. It wouldn't be worth risking their entire business model. People walking in the stands would KO Gus and Reyes. Dude, Gus and Reyes. Oh my God. This sport is so depressing sometimes. Seeing what happened to Reyes getting KO'd by a jab from Ryan Spann was sad. Are you a fan of Pantoja? I love Pantoja. I've kept my eye on him and hope he makes a title fight next year. He has 2 wins over Brandon Moreno. Fun fact. I always wanted to see Ferguson versus Hooker if the Moicano matchup doesn't happen. No. Please no. Please no. I don't want to see Ferguson fight anyone even a little bit competent in fighting. Like, I want them to sign somebody, you know, like they did Chris Montino for Sean O'Malley to look good. That's what they need to do for Tony. Tony's just asking to die every time he steps in the cage with all the brain damage. Yeah, and I think the worst thing is he took this last fight on super short notice. So now it's like, even the people who were saying he's still good, I mean, it's hard for me to defend what that last performance we saw was the worst performance I've ever seen. I want to see Bo Nickel versus Andre Petroski. Let them wrestle. That'd be an interesting matchup. And Petroski was talking about him in the post-fight. How would you fix 283 card looks weak? I wanted Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal on that card. Also throw Valentina Shevchenko versus Talia Santos on there. Winner of Reyes Gus goes to Bellator and loser retires. Sign me up for that. You said he doesn't deserve a brown belt. Not from that fight. I hear people suggesting a Gus Reyes fight. We might actually get a double knockout there. Yeah, Gus just pulled out of his fight. He was supposed to have a fight in December, but he pulled out of it. They should do Brad versus Bobby when they both do come back. I think that makes sense. Tony's going to go out worse than Edgar. Dude, when he lost that Nate Diaz fight, and he came out and said, yeah, I'm just getting started. Oh my God, that hurt my soul. I don't want to see Tony fight anymore, guys. I love Tony Ferguson, and I don't want to see him fight anymore. If Tony would have stepped in against Lee, oh my God, thank God the Li Jingliang fight didn't happen. Tony Ferguson should rematch Michael Johnson and try to get that one back. I don't want to see that either. Is Tony going to get 6 more fights? Please, no. Izzy can beat Alex. He just needs to learn. He needs to team up with his boys Francis and Usman and Volk and drill nonstop spar Francis, Carlos Uberg, and get Roman. Yeah, I mean, Izzy can definitely win. Did you guys see that double knockdown? Yes. Hoi Choi versus Trezano. Yep, it was craziness. Izzy had such bad grappling. Okay. Would Pereira have more success than Izzy against Blachowicz? Nah, I think Pereira would get out-grappled by Blachowicz too. But maybe he could KO him on the feet, but I think it's doubtful. I think it's doubtful. But we'll see. Maybe if he beats Izzy, he goes up. But I doubt he would fight Blachowicz even if he goes up, he'd fight Yuri. Tony was winning against before he chose to foolishly take Nate down. I don't even remember who was winning. But dude, Tony looked awful in that fight. Izzy, and I don't even think he was winning. Izzy needs to fix his ground game to beat Alex. I don't even think he does. I just think he needs to mix it in better. They'll feed Tony to Conor for sure. Oh, please, no. That's what I'm suspecting as well. Bo Nickel versus Gerald Meerschaert. No, Bo Nickel's fighting Jamie Pickett. Easy win for him. I mean, who even wants to see that? Watching an Izzy and Alex roll, not knowing what to do, was so funny. Izzy has ran through the division with amateur level wrestling and white belt BJJ. I don't know about all that. I mean, he had Robert Whittaker and Vittori on his back and survived those. Jamie Malarkey and Neil Magny look 75. Imagine how bad they'll look when they actually turn 75. If Izzy wins, do you think they're going to ever... Yes, there'll be a trilogy if Izzy wins, I think. I'm getting the feeling they might try to do Patty versus Tony if Patty beat... Oh, my, that's the worst possible scenario ever. You guys are just depressing me about Tony Ferguson. Please, no. What's next for Chris Gutierrez? I don't know, man. He's in a good spot in a good division. Maybe a fight with Ricky Simone. Maybe a Pedro Munoz fight. Maybe a Song Yadong fight. Maybe a Rob Font fight even. Would kind of make sense a little bit. Nickel versus Hamzat. Hamzat would smash Bo Nickel, I think. The fact they still have Tony ranked, yeah, the only reason they haven't ranked is because he probably Connor's comeback fight. Yeah, that's probably the truth. Tony versus Islam. Yeah, no. Izzy used to pick apart wrestlers so they can't get close. Alex can take a leaf out of his book and use it on him. There you go. Make him fight a different fight. That's the whole point. I think they should have done Bo Nickel versus Darren Till if they weren't already booked. They're going to feed Bo Nickel a couple easy wins before they even give him a slight step up in competition. They're going to feed him 2, 3, 4 easy wins. They know that they could have a guy that could be a big star. And they're gonna baby him for a bit. Oh my God, what Islam would do to Tony would just be unspeakable. Tony's still ranked because he was interim champ 2 years ago. Whatever. Who has better stand-up, Pereira or Hamzat? Pereira. Most hype you ever been for a fight or a fight that made you lose your mind? Probably most hyped I've ever been for a fight was probably Anderson Silva, Chael Sonnen 2. It's probably the most excited I've ever been for a matchup. But I was very excited for John Jones, Daniel Cormier as well. What's next for Bobby Green? I have no clue. He's suspended, though, for PEDs. Man, Islam going to smash Volk? Most likely, probably take him down. You've been live for a while. Lots of lurkers, though. Yeah. Yep. We've been live for almost 2 hours. If you're lurking in the chat right now, let me know that you're here. Let me know it. Send a message in the chat. Let me know that you're here. I didn't know Shogun was still in the UFC. What the hell? Yeah, dude. Some of these guys that are still hanging around, super depressing. You think Burns Masvidal happening? I mean, probably not. Masvidal's going to make some bullshit excuse, you know. He's running for office again or some bullshit. The worst thing can happen if Alex beat Izzy again and have to fight Paulo Costa after the other guy at the top. I think he can beat, in my opinion. I'm not sure what that message meant, but all right. Did you think Jones was going to destroy Sonnen? Absolutely. I knew Jones was going to smash him. It made no sense. The only reason that fight happened was because Jones was supposed to fight Dan Henderson. And Dan Henderson fell out like a couple days before the fight, and it was a shit fight card. It was a terrible fight card. Dan Henderson fell out of the fight. The UFC asked Chael Sonnen to step in on short notice because none of the actual legitimate contenders wanted to step in on short notice. So they offered it to Chael Sonnen. Chael said yes, of course, because he's never going to get another shot. And John Jones said, nah, I'm not fighting a totally different style matchup on short notice, which I don't blame him. It was only a couple days' notice. He said, I'm not putting my title on the line. And so then people started acting like John Jones was scared of Chael Sonnen. So Jones said, you know what, I want Chael then. And they made him Ultimate Fighter coaches. And then John Jones went out there and smashed him. Chael never even had a slight chance in that fight. Never in a million years did he have a slight chance. And Jones took him down, which is Chael Sonnen's strength is his wrestling, and beat the living shit out of him on the ground. If Tony wins his next fight, is Dan Hooker matchup possible? Yes, but unfortunately. I know you don't like to see guys recycle for the championship, but I do think they'll do Beneil Poirier for a title breaker. Yeah, it may very well happen. Masvidal's running for office or just running? He's running. Masvidal's on a 3-fight losing streak. He just doesn't trust he can beat someone like Burns. He's ducking. Yeah, he's definitely ducking. Yeah, Jones knew he would wreck Chael, but he just didn't want to take it on short notice. I wouldn't either if I was a longtime champ. Seeing Jones break his toe, I know what's crazy is had he not got the stoppage, they would have stopped it in between rounds because of the broken toe. And Chael would have went down as undisputed light heavyweight champion. Oh my God, what a sham that would have been. Imagine him saying that over and over and over again. Lurkin, what's up, Amari? I think Burns outstrikes Masvidal, def out grapple him. Yeah, I agree. Difference between smart and scared. A lot of fighters think you're superhuman, then they get knocked out. Masvidal's lurking right now. Imagine. Masvidal popped in and said, you're a bitch. Wait till I see you in the streets. I'm going to bust you in your mouth. Izzy has proven he's better and more complete fighter than Alex. Evidence from their 3 fights. Even though it's 3-0, should be 2-1. But now Izzy has to get over this psychological hump. Yeah, for sure. Is Izzy more cringe than CCC? No. They're both cringe, though. I watched the chat and the whole time I was in the laundromat. Did you enjoy it while you were washing your clothes? That's the real question. Masvidal versus Conor, who do you pick? I would lean Masvidal, but that's the fight that should get made. Do you find Patty, Austin Power, influence celebrations somewhat entertaining? I'll admit I do. I didn't even know that, but I don't really care for celebrations that much, but yeah, they're all right. Alex Pereira will be a tough matchup for Paulo Costa, just like Izzy. Both guys are stand up. Yeah, I would pick Pereira over Costa, honestly. I think Costa would have to look for takedowns. He would have to look for takedowns. So, let me see something. What is this? Yeah, Henry Cejudo is definitely more cringe. The more I see the resume of Masvidal, he looks like he threw a Hail Mary and got lucky versus Askren. Askren's striking is garbage. I thought Masvidal was going to brutally KO him, but had Askren survived the first round, he probably would have been able to take him down and control him. Most cringe dude ever. How the sport gives you no love, dude. Triple champ. He's a double champ. Pereira versus Rockhold prediction. I don't trust Rockhold's chin against a Pereira. I trust the Rockhold's chin against Costa. Honestly, I'd probably take Rockhold. That's crazy, though. Luke had Costa doing the chicken dance in round 2. Alex flatline Costa, bro. Yeah, I wish Levitt won and did the splits on Patty in London. Well, Levitt won the first round. So, Askren has no striking skills. Yeah. No striking skills at all. Even Askren beating MMA would beat him in boxing. Yeah, that's true. I get what people are saying that Alex is the most matchup depending champ, but him just arguably beating the second greatest middleweight next to Anderson makes him instantly not trash. Yeah, I don't think he's trash at all. But he's very beatable and from one stylistic type matchup. Do you think every MMA fan should watch the first 2 or 3 events? No. What PC do you got? I don't have a PC currently, but I'm in the process of trying to pick one out. I need to get something that's going to render out 4K videos lightning and fast. So that's what I'm looking for right now. I'm going to buy a new computer soon. So, but right now I got like a high-end laptop that I bought a couple years ago. That does okay. It does an okay job. Who would you pick for a Pereira-Yuri matchup? I don't know, man. Would Yuri incorporate the wrestling? I don't know. I'd probably lean Yuri, but I might switch my pick to Pereira. But I think Yuri would just have... I mean, Yuri has a good chin, and he has good grappling, and he's super unorthodox. That'd be a fun-ass matchup, though. What's next for Chase Hooper? A different career, probably. The first couple events, yeah, I've only seen like bits and pieces of the fights from the first couple events. I haven't watched them like all in their entirety. Would you rather Sterling defend versus Cejudo, O'Malley, or Vera? I'd rather him defend versus Cejudo because I think Cejudo would take the belt from him. So that's what I would go with. That's what I would go with. Let me X out of all these extra tabs I have open. Horrible fighting, but entertainment. What's next for TJ? I want to see him fight Dominic Cruz. I think that makes a lot of sense. I think Brazilian fans are super patriotic as long as someone's reporting it's going to be a sellout. At least UFC will cover loss on 283 if it incurs such. I have no idea. What's next for Chase Hooper? Is a cheeseburger dude skinny as hell? Yeah, I mean, I don't think he's ever going to be able to compete with the elite of the elite, but we'll see. I picked him in his last fight, but I picked against him in the fight before that, so I have no idea. I don't have a good gauge on his skill set. Apparently, I don't know what I'm talking about. Guys, do me a favor. If you have not yet liked the stream, like it right this very second. Dude, what if middleweight turns into women's strawweight division? Like Rose can't beat Carla, Carla can't beat Zhang, Zhang can't beat Rose. Can beat Rob, but Rob can beat Alex, and Alex is yeah. It'd be fun. Musical chairs, I guess. Does anyone see Zhang? Do you see anyone beating Zhang Weili in her second title reign? No. Not for a bit, but Amanda Lemos has nasty power. She could have a chance. Do you think Conor versus Tony is the fight to make? Absolutely not. Weili versus Lemos is next. I agree. Is Henry underrated? I just think nobody cares about Henry Cejudo anymore. I genuinely don't think anyone cares about Henry Cejudo. I'm honestly underwhelmed with the UFC 283 card so far. I agree. It doesn't look that great. On paper, it does not look that great. No fight for Tony's the fight to make. Agree. Would you rather see Hamzat stay at 170 or move to 185? I want to see him stay at 170. Blaze One Sports. What's up, my friend? Thank you for being a member. UFC women's division are looking very thin in terms of contenders, especially strawweight and bantamweight. Dude, bantamweight and women's featherweight, which is non-existent, looks like shit right now. Strawweight looks alright. Lemos can match Zhang's strength, speed, physicality, explosiveness is the fight to make. That'd be a war. Joey, on a scale from 1 to 10, how bad do you want to see Rose back in the octagon? -78. That last fight was just so bad, I never want to see her fight again. Johnny Walker versus Ryan Spann rematch. What's next for them? Doesn't Johnny Walker have a fight? I can't remember. But sure, I mean, that was a fun fight the first time. I wouldn't mind seeing it again. Ryan Spann just has nasty, brutal power, and he's humongous for a light heavyweight. I mean, every time he steps in there, he looks like a heavyweight. Women's flyweight is improving. Yeah, Erin Blanchfield kind of makes herself as a new contender here. Lauren Shanko making women's bantamweight 135 to 55. I don't know if that'll ever happen. Which was best, 217, 268, or 281? Probably, for me, probably 281, but that could be recency biased. 268, no. Anderson Silva broke his leg. Ugh. So unsatisfying ending and depressing. Ryan Spann, Anthony Smith too. Didn't they just fight not that long ago? I'm pretty sure I made a prediction on this channel. Tony could do submission grappling. I don't want to see him get hit anymore. I don't know if I can stomach watching Tony Ferguson taking any more CTE, so I'm with you on that one, my friend. I am very much with you on that one. Spann versus Ozdemir? Maybe. That's how I feel about Johnny Walker. Due to 6'6", cutting to 205. He's massive for the weight class. Seems like his chin has suffered from it as well. Did you know Pereira was in Silva's corner during the Izzy fight? I did see that recently. I did see that. But I did not know that until recently. Ryan Spann versus Jamal Hill. Supposedly Jamal Hill has a fight. But I wouldn't mind that either. That'd be a lot of fun. Sign me up for that. I mean, Ryan Spann is up. Jesus. Dominic Reyes ranked number 12. I never thought I'd see a day where Dominic Reyes was ranked behind Johnny Walker. Oof. Giants fan 97. Thank you for the $10 donation and thank you for being a member. I appreciate your donation. Appreciate the stream, Joey. Appreciate the stream, Joey. What's your dream matchup if you could pick any? If you could pick from any era of MMA, I really wanted to see Anderson Silva versus GSP. It's the fight that should have been made. It was a massive fight. Stylistically, it was super entertaining. It was super interesting. It was super intriguing. So I think that's what I would go with. Either it was probably Anderson Silva, GSP. I think that fight, I mean, that's one that the UFC really missed. And that would have been a massive blockbuster. So it's unfortunate that we never got to see that. What about you? But thank you, Giants fan 97, for the $10 super chat. Appreciate your support, my friend. I'm glad you enjoy the streams. And thank you for being a member as well. Who hits harder, Jiri or Pereira? I mean, they both hit pretty hard. I'll say Pereira, though, but it's hard to say. I'm surprised. I'm surprised Jamal Hill is as good as he is. Dude looks out of shape. He just looks kind of skinny, is what I think. I understand what you're saying. He doesn't have a lot of muscle definition. Leon Edwards versus Kamaru Usman and Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya should be on the same card. I would love it. Somebody suggested this the other day, but it's not going to happen. Is Colby Covington Chimaev fight ever going to happen because it's well overdue? I don't know if Colby's ever going to come out of hiding, but I'm going to say yes. Maybe Reyes versus Kutalaba or however it's spelled. I think they cut Kutalaba, I want to say. Reyes versus Shogun or Crute. Yeah, I don't know. Reyes is done to me. How dangerous do you think DC would have been if he fought at 85? There's no way he's making 70 or 55. I think he'd have been very dangerous at 85. Honestly, I think Reyes never recovered from that Erie war. He took a lot of damage eating hard shots. I mean, or that Jan Blachowicz beating. Is Jamal Hill rematching Paul Craig? For the love of God, no. Hill is like the Alex, but against any elite grappler or wrestler, he's losing. Agreed. But I think they could say both for him. You could say the same about both. Jalton Almeida versus Spann prediction. I'd probably take Jalton Almeida. But that's a good matchup. Sign me up for that one. I never even thought of that one, Billy. Hill versus Spann. I love it. I'd probably pick Hill, though. I think he's a little bit more crisper on the feet. That's a banger of a fight, though. Someone's getting KO'd in the first round. Anderson Silva was the smartest fighter I've ever seen. One of the most dangerous champions ever back then. Yeah, I mean, Anderson Silva was who got me in MMA. What's next for Anthony Smith? There were some rumors he was going to be fighting Jamal Hill next, but it seems like it's never been announced, so I don't know. Yeah. Oh, Hill already KO'd Spann? When did that happen? Was that recent or no? Ryan Spann. I'm trying to remember it. Must have been a bit ago. No, Ryan Spann never fought Jamal Hill. You lied to me, you son of a bitch. I was about to say, I don't remember that. For a second, I thought I did, but then I was like, nah. Who should Hamzat fight next if it's not Colby? Bilal Muhammad. No, that was DeJuan Counts. Okay, yeah, there you go. GSP got me in MMA and Chuck Liddell. Yeah, GSP got a lot of people in MMA. It's crazy. Smith would submit Hill. We might find out soon because they might be fighting each other. I wish so. Yeah, dude, I hate the YouTube boxing bullshit. He'd absolutely sleep him Ryan Spann as shit, but Ryan Spann has nasty KO power too, so you never know. You never know. Smith would get starched. Maybe Reyes versus Santos. Santos is no longer in the UFC. He's signed to PFL. He's signed to PFL. So that fight will not happen. Thiago Santos is gone. Salam, brother. What's up? What's up? You're in Chicago? That's awesome. That is awesome. GSP got me in MMA as well. I love his fight with Condit. Exactly 10 years ago right now. Exactly 10 years ago today. Well, technically yesterday now. Oh my God. We've been on here for over 2 hours. I didn't even realize that. That's crazy. Reyes versus an unranked. Sign me up for that. Guys, if anybody's watching right now and they're not subscribed to the channel, subscribe to the channel. We're probably going to hit 6,000 subscribers tomorrow. We're like 20 away from 6,000 subscribers. That head kick where Condit caught GSP with a head kick, that made that fight so crazy. Smith is very talented but very inconsistent. Dude looked like a champion one day and washed up the next. That is very true. What's next for Sean Brady? A step back in competition. Maybe like a Vicente Luque or something. Or a Michael Chiesa. Nah, they already fought. Neil Magny, maybe. Well, what a coincidence. I didn't know it was 10 years ago today. Yep, November 17th. November 17th. Let me just double check that. I'm pretty sure it was 10 years ago. 2012, right? Yep, November 17th, 2012. I've been watching before Forrest Griffin versus Stephen Bonner fight. My two favorite UFC fighters are John Jones, Chuck Liddell. John Jones so fun to watch when he was fighting. Started yesterday in United Center Hockey Chicago Blackhawks. I hope you're enjoying yourself. Why do you think fighters fall off majority after fighting John Jones? I don't know. There's a John Jones voodoo curse on him. Imagine if Smith took the DQ championship win against, he would end up like Aljamain Sterling. Gus versus Hill is the fight to make JK. Yeah, no. Brady versus Daniel Rodriguez, maybe? Maybe, yeah. That kind of makes sense, too. What's next for Rockets? He's the most underrated guy at 205 to me. I don't know. How long is he going to be out for? The division could be vastly different by the time he comes out. So it's hard to say. I wouldn't mind seeing him versus Jamal Hill. Is Arlovsky still in the UFC? Yes. I believe so. Is Gus still fighting? Then Gus Reyes. Yeah, Gus was supposed to fight in December against somebody. I can't even remember who. Against OSP, but he just pulled out the other day. So he's injured right now. So, didn't you pick DC over Stipe in the first and second fight? No, I picked Stipe over DC in both fights. So I picked the first fight wrong, second fight correct. I picked Stipe both times is the easier way to say it. I was very confident Stipe would win. I was wrong in the first one. I was right in the second one. Right? Wait, they fought 3 times, didn't they? How am I forgetting that? Let me see real quick. I can't remember. Was it a trilogy? He knocked him out. Yeah, it was a trilogy. Right? They fought 3 times. Yeah, he knocked him out. Then the second one, Cormier was winning, and he finished him with body shots in the fourth. So I picked Stipe in all 3. I picked Stipe in all 3 fights. Does the OSP have a match? What's next for him? Yes, he does. I forgot who they stuck in as a replacement. But they found a replacement, but it's nobody significant. If Reyes could take shots, he'd be a champ right now. Well, he can't. That's a big if because he can't take shots. Rockets would absolutely beat Hill. The only guys I see beating Rockets is Jan, Yuri, Glover, and Magomed. That's it. Rockets is a very good fighter for sure. I'm very high on him, but now he's injured. Who knows how he's going to come back. Guys, we've gone 2 hours. We'll read a couple more questions, so if you have any more questions, throw them in the chat. Joey, are you excited about Jones returning? Yes. Do you think he'll be the same? Probably not. Yeah, I mean, it's hard to say. If he comes out looking like shit, it's going to be like, well, he was off for 3 years. So I'm excited, but I'm cautiously optimistic on how he'll look. Reyes definitely had a sound downfall. Loved his fight against Jones. Agreed. Reyes should go to Dagestan and just do wrestling game plan. I mean, he can't take a shot anymore. But it sucks Jones has been out for so long because we don't know what Jones we're going to end up getting. He could be completely washed up at this point. We would never even know it. So, Garbrandt is in the same corner as Reyes. Both could be champs right now. Have times have came and gone. Sad to see. MMA is a sport where when your chin goes, it's the end of you. How would Cody Garbrandt that fought Cruz do in today's bantamweight division? I think he'd be up there in the top 5. UFC should stop waiting on Stipe. Jones versus Ngannou. They're supposedly doing Jones versus Ngannou. I think it's going to end up in March at 285. Jones will come back strong. Who has a better shot at winning their belt back, Usman or Izzy? Usman for sure. I favor Usman significantly to win the belt. All right, guys, I'm going to get out of here. We went 2 hours and 15 minutes. I will be live tomorrow evening for Bellator 288. Do me a favor before you go. Like the stream. Subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Go watch my UFC prediction video for Derek Lewis, Sergey Spivak. Go watch my Bellator 288 predictions, including Usman Nurmagomedov versus Patricky Pitbull. They're all on the channel right now. I have a video about Michael Chandler cheating in his fight against Dustin Poirier. Go check out the videos on the channel. Like this stream before you go, and good night. Thank you guys for joining me. I really do appreciate it. I will talk to you guys tomorrow during Bellator 288. Good night.